If you're watching this right now, I need you to stop everything else and really listen. Because what I'm about to share might explain why you feel so drained, so empty, so used up by life, even though you're doing everything right. Even though you're being kind, helpful, available. Especially because you're being all those things. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand something that took me years to learn. Something that famous psychologists have been trying to teach us for decades, but we've been too afraid to hear. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. When was the last time you felt truly peaceful? Not just okay, not just getting by, but genuinely at peace with yourself? If you're struggling to remember, there's a reason for that. You've been giving away pieces of yourself bit by bit, interaction by interaction, until there's almost nothing left. And the worst part? You think this makes you a good person. You think this is what love looks like. But it's not love. It's fear, dressed up as kindness. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, spent his life studying the human psyche. He discovered something profound about why we suffer. He said that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But here's what he didn't say directly, what I'm going to tell you now. The reason certain people drain you, the reason you feel exhausted after being around them, isn't really about them at all. It's about what you're allowing. It's about the doors you're leaving open when you should be closing them. You see, there's this invisible game being played all around you, every single day. People are constantly testing your boundaries, pushing to see how much they can take, how much you'll give, how far they can go before you finally say enough. And most of us, we never say enough. We just keep giving, keep explaining, keep being available, thinking that someday, somehow, all this giving will come back to us. But it doesn't, does it? Instead, you just feel more tired, more empty, more alone than ever. Jung talked about something he called psychic energy. Think of it like the battery that powers your soul. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every interaction you engage in, it all uses this energy. Now here's what nobody taught you in school, what your parents probably didn't know to tell you. This energy is limited, very limited. And when you're constantly available, constantly responding, constantly trying to fix everyone else's problems, you're hemorrhaging this precious resource. Imagine you have 100 units of energy each day, just 100, and every time you respond to that text you don't want to answer, that's 5 units gone. Every time you say yes when you mean no, 10 units disappear. Every time you engage in an argument that won't change anything, 20 units evaporate. By noon, you're running on empty, and you don't even know why. You just know you feel exhausted, irritated, like you want to disappear. But what if I told you there's another way? What if I told you that the most powerful people, the ones who seem to have this mysterious magnetism, they understand something you don't? They understand the power of absence. They know that being less available doesn't make you mean. It makes you valuable. It doesn't make you cold. It makes you selective. And in a world where everyone is desperate for attention, being selective is revolutionary. Niccolò Machiavelli, the Italian philosopher who understood power better than almost anyone, wrote something that might shock you. He said it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Now, before you close this video, thinking I'm telling you to become some kind of monster, hear me out. He wasn't talking about being cruel. He was talking about respect, about boundaries, about the fact that people value what they might lose more than what they know they'll always have. Think about water. When it's everywhere, flowing freely from every tap, nobody thinks about it. But in the desert, water becomes precious, sacred even. You've made yourself into tap water, always flowing, always available. And people treat you accordingly. They waste you. They take you for granted. They assume you'll always be there. But what happens when the tap runs dry? Suddenly they notice. Suddenly they value what they've lost. This isn't about playing games or manipulating people. This is about understanding a fundamental truth of human psychology. We are wired to value scarcity over abundance. We chase what moves away from us. We respect what has boundaries. We treasure what we have to earn. And right now, nobody has to earn you. You're giving yourself away for free, hoping that your generosity will be rewarded with love. But that's not how it works. Alfred Adler, another giant in psychology, talked about something called the inferiority complex. He believed that many of us operate from a deep belief that we're not enough just as we are. So we try to compensate. We become super helpful, super available, super accommodating, thinking this will make us worthy of love. But all it does is attract people who are looking for someone to use, not someone to love. Here's a truth that might hurt. The people who text you only when they need something, the ones who remember you exist only when they're in crisis, the ones who get angry when you're not immediately available. These people don't love you. They love what you do for them. They love the function you serve in their life. You're not a person to them. You're a service. And services, well, services are replaceable. Carl Jung had this concept called the shadow. It's all the parts of ourselves we hide, deny, push away, because we think they're unacceptable. Your need to rest, your desire to say no, your wish to be left alone sometimes. These might be in your shadow. You've pushed them down, thinking they make you selfish, thinking they make you bad. But what you don't realize is that by denying these parts of yourself, you're living half a life. The shadow isn't evil, it's human. It's the part of you that knows you deserve respect, that knows you have limits, that knows you have the right to choose who gets access to your time and energy. But you've been taught to fear this part of yourself, to see it as selfish, as wrong. So you suppress it, and in suppressing it, you become a ghost of who you could be. Let me tell you about something I call emotional vampirism. There are people in this world who feed off the energy of others. They're not necessarily bad people. They might not even know they're doing it. But they've learned that certain people like you, will always provide the emotional food they need. They come to you with their problems, their dramas, their endless needs, and you, being the good person you are, you always respond. You always help. You always give. But watch what happens when you stop. Watch what happens when you don't immediately text back, when you say you're busy, when you choose yourself for once. They don't just get disappointed, they get angry. They accuse you of changing, of being selfish, of not being the person they thought you were. And that's when you see the truth. They never wanted you. They wanted what you provided. They wanted the emotional labor, the constant availability, the reliable source of validation and support. Viktor Frankl, who survived the Nazi concentration camps and became one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, said something profound. He said that between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. But most of us have eliminated that space. Someone asks, and we immediately respond. Someone needs, and we immediately provide. We've become automatic, predictable, controllable. Creating emotional distance isn't about becoming an island. It's about creating that space Frankl talked about. It's about pausing before you respond, thinking before you commit, choosing before you give. It's about asking yourself, do I want to do this, or am I doing it because I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't? And if the answer is fear, then you know you're not choosing. You're being controlled. Jung also talked about individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, not who others need you to be. This process requires separation. It requires you to step back from the collective, from the expectations, from the constant demands, and ask yourself, who am I when I'm not trying to be everything to everyone? Who am I when I'm not performing, not pleasing, not proving my worth through my usefulness? This is terrifying for most people, because when you stop being who others need you to be, you risk losing them. And for someone who's built their entire identity on being needed, being helpful, being good, this feels like death. But it's not death. It's birth. It's the birth of your authentic self, the self that exists beyond the roles, beyond the functions, beyond the endless giving. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said that the most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you give when you're empty, every time you show up when you want to hide, you're giving away your future. You're trading your potential for their comfort. You're sacrificing your dreams for their convenience. But here's what happens when you start creating emotional distance. At first, yes, people will be upset. They'll call you different, cold, selfish. But then something interesting happens. The users, the takers, the emotional vampires, they start to fade away. They find other sources, other tap water people to drain. And who's left? The people who actually value you, not your function. The people who respect your boundaries, not resent them. The people who love you, not what you do for them. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't something you do once and everything changes. This is a practice, a daily choice to protect your energy, to value your peace, to choose yourself even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels wrong. Because you've been programmed to believe that your worth comes from your usefulness, but it doesn't. Your worth is inherent. You don't have to earn it by being available 24/7. William James, often called the father of American psychology, said that the art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. But I would add, it's also the art of knowing when to withdraw. Not every battle needs your participation. Not every drama needs your involvement. Not every person deserves access to your inner world. Creating emotional distance is an act of self-love. It's saying, my peace matters more than your comfort. My energy is precious, and I choose where it goes. My time is limited, and not everyone deserves it. This isn't mean. This isn't cruel. This is wisdom. This is maturity. This is what it means to be an adult who takes responsibility for their own well-being. Right now, as you're listening to this, you might be thinking of all the people who won't understand, who'll be hurt, who'll accuse you of changing. Good. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them figure out how to manage their own emotions without using you as their emotional support system. Let them learn what you're learning, that everyone is responsible for their own inner world. The most powerful thing you can do is become unpredictable in your availability. Sometimes you respond quickly, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're available, sometimes you're not. This isn't game playing. This is living according to your own rhythm, not theirs. This is checking in with yourself before you check in with others. This is revolutionary in a world that demands constant connection. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to understand something crucial. Creating emotional distance doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about the right things. It means you stop pouring from an empty cup. It means you recognize that you can't save everyone, and more importantly, it's not your job to try. If this message resonated with you, if you felt something shift while listening, I challenge you to do one thing today. Choose one person, one situation, one demand on your time, and create distance. Don't explain, don't justify, don't apologize. Just step back and watch what happens. Watch how the world doesn't end. Watch how you don't die from their disappointment. Watch how you actually feel lighter, freer, more yourself than you have in years. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's drowning in everyone else's needs. Someone who's forgotten they have the right to say no. Someone who needs permission to choose themselves. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is show someone that it's okay to create distance. It's okay to protect your peace. It's okay to be unavailable. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to truly transform, watch the next video. It's waiting for you. And trust me, you need to hear what comes next.